trash talked the entire time, and humiliated him on national TV.
What up, YouTube? I got another reaction video. Remember him? That guy right there? Yeah, the guy that lost 0-3 to Kenny Smith in the three-point contest. I have a follow-up video. What happened to him after the video? What happened to him before and during the video? Let's get straight into it.
Years ago, this guy went viral for breaking the world three-point record in his home gym.
Set a world record for threes made in 60 seconds with 31.
Are you serious?
Yes.
He gained tons of media attention, and it earned him an invite on Inside the NBA on TNT. A once-in-a-lifetime experience to hang out with Ernie, Shaq, Chuck, and Kenny. The guys asked him about his record, and like all great shooters, he was clearly confident in his ability.
I mean, and honestly, if for some reason there was an issue, I could break it again, for sure.
But then it came time to prove it. Kenny the Jet Smith challenged him to a three-point contest. First to 3 buckets wins, and this happened.
All right, there it is. See?
That's off by
I'll
a
make
mile.
that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is shirt that's tight. Turn ain't never tight, Ernie. Turn ain't never tight.
Kenny Smith won 3-0, trash talked the entire time, and humiliated him on national TV.
Hey, give me a minute. Give me a minute. I might make 28 more. I might make 28 more.
TNT reposted the clip and it blew up. Social media had a field day. Although he may not have expected it, this one short TV segment would totally ruin his reputation for years to come.
That was like 8 years ago, asshole.
People don't forget.
But just a few days ago, the same man entered Gilbert Arenas' three-point shootout for $100,000. He took on hundreds of contestants, including 5 NBA vets, put on a life-changing performance, and in the process exposed the truth about what really happened on that tragic day on Inside the NBA.
I mean, it was 5 years ago. It was bullshit.
Let's talk about it.
They set me up. It was in a studio. It wasn't even...
But before we reveal the true story of the world's best pure shooter, Miracola. Anthony holds 7 world records based around shooting a basketball, including most free throws in a minute, most three-pointers in a minute, and perhaps my personal favorite, most behind the backboard shots in a minute. As far as Guinness World Records go, Anthony is the best basketball shooter on earth. But most people on the internet see Anthony Miracola very differently.
Let's go home, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go home.
After his 2019 appearance on TNT went viral, NBA media destroyed him and his life got turned upside down. Miracola lost his manager. The story Sports Illustrated had written on him was dropped, and the internet dubbed him world's greatest excuse maker. Imagine breaking 7 world records, having hundreds of videos of you getting buckets online, and still 3 missed shots on a TV show in 2019 defines your entire reputation.
Hey, let's stop making excuses.
Now, Anthony got the chance to stop all the slander and redeem his name. On July 3rd, 2022, Miracola paid $1,000 to take part in an open three-point contest in Pennsylvania. After barely surviving a double overtime shootout against a former college basketball star, Miracola came alive. Not only did he win the contest, but he did so in historic fashion, scoring 31 out of 34 points in the final round. It was an incredible feat, $100,000 in prize money. The Miracola name was finally back on top.
All that stuff wrapped up kind of came together all at once when I won, because it was just big accomplishment, like to just kind of, I was able to do it.
But the internet didn't even know, or
$100,000 to shoot some threes, nigga. Sign me up. I think I'm ready, coach. Put me in that game.
or care. As proof, Jimmy Highroller, one of my favorite NBA YouTubers, made a mini doc on Anthony's TNT appearance recently. His video got over 4.5 million views, and still some of the top comments were nothing but shade. No mention of his 7 world records or the competition he won in 2022. Then in 2023, Gilbert Arenas announced his own 3-point shootout challenge, a 4-round pro-am shooting competition with a huge winner-take-all prize pot. The contest was going to feature former NBA players, former WNBA players, and YouTubers with gigantic followings. If Miracola could prove himself on a stage this big, then maybe people might actually start to forget about his TNT appearance and start to respect his name for who he really was, a world-class shooter. But anyone who knows about live sports can tell you that nothing is guaranteed. What if Anthony goes cold, gets eliminated by a random person, or even worse, makes it to the big stage and fails, just like he did in 2019? The humiliation would be unbearable. Still, Anthony took this risk.
He went to ESPN and choked. You know who he is. Yeah, he drove from Florida. He came from Florida.
The first round of the contest was all about mid-range shooting. Miracola was slated to go against popular YouTuber Jesser, who certainly isn't afraid of performing in front of a camera. As the first round got started, Miracola looked hot, hitting all 5 of his first 5 shots. 3 racks in, Miracola had already scored an impressive 15 points, but Jesser was doing just enough to hang on. Going into the final rack, Miracola was only up 2 points. If Anthony had any sort of clutch gene, this was going to be the time he had to prove it. And that's exactly what he did. Miracola hit all 5 of his final shots. Somehow, Gilbert Arenas and Rashad McCants were eliminated in the first round. Guess it wasn't worth shooting all those 10K practice shots, huh, Gil?
I took 10,000 shots to make 12.
Round 2 was all from the high school three-point line. Only 5 players would advance. And after breaking multiple shots on both of his first and second rack, Anthony was looking mortal for the first time in the competition. But then everything changed during the 4th rack. Anthony locked in, hitting nothing but net on all 10 of his final 2 racks. Redemption was now just 2 rounds away. For the 3rd round, contestants had to shoot 25 high school three-pointers and 25 from college range. The top 3 would get a chance to shoot in the final round for the grand prize of $100,000. But to get there, Miracola was going to have to be nearly perfect, because WNBA star Lexi Brown had just scored 32 points. His first trip around the arc goes fairly well, hitting 19 of his 25 shots. But the next round was legendary. Miracola goes on to hit 21 of 25 shots from college range, a shooting percentage of 84%, putting Miracola at the very top of the leaderboard and leaving just 2 shooters between him and redemption. For the final round, the remaining 3 contestants would each shoot 25 college threes and 25 from NBA range. The same NBA range that caused Anthony all of this embarrassment and humiliation in the first place. Former college basketball player Mika Wynn shot first, scoring a stellar 40 points. Another former basketball player Jenna Bandy shot second, but came up short, scoring just 36. Last up was Anthony Miracola, who needed 41 to take home the prize. This means Miracola needed to hit 82% of his shots, a staggering feat for any NBA player shooting from NBA distance. His first trip around the arc, he's on pace, but just barely, scoring 20 points on the shots from college distance, meaning he needs to hit 21 of 25 from NBA range to take the whole thing home. But Miracola is not thinking about any of that. This is a man with a true shooter mentality. He's not thinking about the scoreboard. He's not
Michael
thinking
Jordan.
about the money. He's
He's
definitely
Kobe
not thinking about
Bryant.
TNT
He's
or
Mambo
Sports Illustrated.
mentality.
This
What
man
is he
is only
thinking
thinking
about?
about one thing and one thing only: the next shot. The first rack, 4 for 5. The second rack, 5 for 5. As Anthony approaches the final rack, he needs just 2 more points to win himself $100,000. He needs just 2 more buckets to redeem his name forever.
Hey, let's stop making excuses. Let's go home, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go home.
But Anthony doesn't make the 2 points. He makes 4.
Miracola got it! Miracola got it!
Anthony Miracola scores an incredible 42 points, hitting 42 out of 50 shots, a breathtaking 82% from 3. Gilbert Arenas himself had to hand Miracola the oversized check. Anthony had done it. He'd beaten out NBA vets. He remained humble throughout, and he restored the Miracola name. He really is one of the world's best pure shooters. After the contest, Gil had Anthony on his podcast and allowed him the chance to voice his side of the TNT story.
Just a really bizarre situation. The whole vibe, man. They may be great guys. They weren't great to me. They were very disrespectful. They know what they did to me. This isn't a secret. Right. This is 5 years ago, and they just keep reposting it and giving it to other people. Even now that I won this, I don't have any shit to talk, man. I won it. I think my shooting spoke for itself. And
Anthony
you know
finally got to tell the world his truth, and Gil's crew gave him the perfect platform to do it. Anthony's story is the perfect example of persistence and courage, that even in your most embarrassing moment, you can still recover, that there's always more time, there's always a second act. You just have to be brave enough.
If y'all liking what y'all saw, like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back with another one.